In the heart of a rainy, bustling city, lived a young woman named Ilara. She had always been quiet, the kind of soul that walked unnoticed but carried the weight of 1,000 dreams. At 23, she worked 2 jobs to pay rent for a tiny studio apartment that overlooked an alleyway filled with graffiti and neon flickers from the 24-hour diner downstairs. She had no family, none who spoke to her anyway, and her circle of friends was a single coworker who once lent her an umbrella and never asked for it back. One night, the rain fell heavier than usual, and Ilara ducked into a cozy upscale bar she normally couldn't afford. She was soaked to the bone, and all she wanted was warmth and silence. She sat at the far end, nursing a single glass of water. She didn't know her world was about to change. He walked in like a shadow slipped from a dream, tall, sleek in a black tailored coat. His jaw etched like he was sculpted from stone and stormlight. His name was Orion. He noticed her instantly. Not because she tried to be seen, but because she didn't. Her quiet made noise in a world full of loud. They talked for hours. About books, stars, broken families, and dreams with frayed edges. One drink turned into 2. Words became laughter. Laughter became whispers. Whispers blurred into touch. And touch became everything. They spent the night together, the kind of night that feels suspended in time, where the world outside ceases to matter. By morning he was gone. No note, no name. Just the echo of a kiss on her forehead and a memory too vivid to be a mistake. Weeks passed. Ilara began to feel different. Sickness, exhaustion, a missed period. The pregnancy test turned positive like a verdict. She stared at it in disbelief, her hands trembling. She didn't even know his last name. Just Orion. Like the constellation. When she told her employer, who also owned the apartment building she lived in, he didn't react with kindness. The judgment was sharp and swift. He called her irresponsible, immoral, said she was a bad example to other staff. And then, just like that, she was fired, evicted, cast out with her belongings piled into trash bags on the curb. Ilara sat in the rain again. But this time there was no bar, no warmth, no Orion. Her days blurred into a gray survival. She found a shelter for women, got occasional work cleaning houses and waiting tables. She never let herself cry in public. Not once. But fate was winding a path she could not see. One day, nearly 6 months pregnant, she was cleaning an office building downtown, one of those glass towers that sliced the sky. She stepped into the boardroom to dust and stopped cold. There he was, Orion. But now he was in a suit, seated at the head of a long table, surrounded by men and women who hung on his every word. The room fell silent. He saw her. The world narrowed. "Ilara," he whispered, rising to his feet. She dropped the duster. Her heart thundered. His name spilled from her lips like a question wrapped in heartbreak. Orion. He crossed the room before anyone could stop him, before sense or shock could take hold. "What are you doing here?" he asked. "I work here," she said. "I clean floors and dust windows and empty your trash." His eyes dropped to her belly. She watched him piece it together. He staggered back slightly. "Is it?" She nodded. A storm passed through his face. Grief, wonder, regret, disbelief. "You didn't try to find me. I didn't even know your last name," she said quietly. He stared at her as though seeing a miracle misplaced in his world of control. Then he did something no one in that room expected. He dropped to his knees, in front of everyone, and placed his hand on her stomach. Tears welled in Ilara's eyes, and she nearly broke right there. "I didn't expect anything. I don't want your pity." "Pity," he whispered, rising slowly. "Ilara, I've been dreaming of you since the night we met. I looked for you everywhere. I thought I made you up. And now you're carrying my child." She flinched at the word. He turned to his staff. "Cancel the rest of my meetings." "But sir," his assistant began. He didn't even glance back. "I said cancel them." He took her hand. "Come with me." She resisted at first. "I don't want charity." This isn't charity. This is everything I've ever wanted." From that moment everything changed. Orion brought her into his world, not with pomp or show, but with reverence. He gave her the guest wing of his penthouse until she was comfortable enough to move into his room. He hired the best doctors, filled her fridge with her cravings, painted the nursery himself, stars across the ceiling just like the ones he said reminded him of her. He bought her books, read to her belly at night, and kissed her forehead each morning like a prayer. But more than the gifts, he gave her time, patience, a hand to hold when the baby kicked, arms to weep in when the past caught up. They had quiet days on the rooftop garden, and nights tangled in stories and shared dreams. He never rushed her, never demanded love in return. And then one night, as she stood beneath the constellation that shared his name, with their baby in her arms, he whispered, "I may be a CO, but the greatest title I'll ever hold is yours." And in that quiet, rain-washed city, where once she had been discarded, Ilara was no longer forgotten. She was adored. She was safe. She was home. Then,